Hello Flosstube, it is Helen D. I am here with my 2023 WIP parade. So in this video we're going to go through the WIPs that I'm carrying over from 2023 and previous into 2024. I am not one for record keeping, notes, journaling, any of that stuff. This is the extent. This is what we have. I make a sheet in Word. I highlight things when I'm done with them. I handwrite things. Every few months when I can't read my own handwriting, I go through, I retype, I rehighlight. Ta-da! That's the extent. So a couple of stats to start things off because it's all on one page. I had in 2023 68 finishes. Keep in mind, I stitch a lot of smalls. Smalls, micro smalls even. My models were included in that I stitched for things I released this year. So I had 68 finishes. The couple of big finishes that I had were carryovers. I don't think I had anything big that I started in 2023 and finished in 2023. So I ended 2022, I carried over 22 WIPs into 2023. Of those, I UFO'd 3. I decided 3 of them I'm just not gonna go forward with, and they were actually smaller pieces, but 3 of them I didn't go through with. I finished all but 3. So I have 3 WIPs from 2022, and the rest of the WIPs that I'll show today were all started in 2023. So I ended 2023 with 14 WIPs. Then I finished one on January 1st. So I'll show you that one too, because it's included. So we have 14 projects to look through. They are in order from oldest to newest. Like I said, they're from 3 from 2022, the rest are from 2023. I will list them below with the designer. I try to remember fabrics. If I was better about writing things down, that would be easier, but alas, that is not me. So let's jump in and get started with my oldest WIP, which is it's a smaller piece. It's a summer piece and I just didn't get time. I touched it last year, I just didn't get time to finish it. So this is Lobster Biscornu, or as I call it, Dead Lobster Biscornu, because they're red. This is a digital chart. It is from my friend Marissa, who is MKissa Creations on Etsy. I'm stitching mine on a light blue Lugana. That's where I'm at. So this is the top, obviously. I know last year I started this guy, and I think I turned the corner up here. So not a ton. This one I think definitely should get done this year because if I would just focus on it for half a minute, I think it would be done. So that is Lobster Biscornu. Number 2, I did touch last year. I tend to be a seasonal stitcher, meaning I like to stitch things. I like to stitch Halloween in September and October, but then when November hits, I'm on to turkeys. So the Halloween stuff just gets put away for the next year. So this is a leftover Halloween piece. It is Fly by Night. Actually, Flying Lessons. It's called Flying Lessons by Silver Creek Samplers. This one started last year. I only had the word night. This year, or 2023, I worked everything up. So this year I just have to work down. So there's where I'm at. I did change the lettering in the witch's hat band to a purple. I saw quite a few people did that. Chris the Camping Stitcher was the first one I saw, and I love purple, so I switched that. So I have the bottom to do. This one I am stitching on the called for fabric, which is Hazelwood from Fiber on a Whim. It's called for an 18, I'm doing a 14. So that one, definitely this year. I think I have 2. I'm like, is that my only Halloween? I have 2. This one will not get done this year. This is one of those big projects. This is Live on Little, Live on Large from Plum Street. There's the chart pack, but it actually is this way. Now, I didn't think I got very much done on this year, but when I looked back on my last year's WIP parade to see how many WIPs I had, last year I really only had this mermaid and half a whale, and that was it. So when you look at it that way, I at least got some done. I'm still on page 1. I don't even have to unfold this because it's all right here. So I finished the whale, filled in a bunch of water, started a flower, came up here. I had grand hopes of filling some of that sail and stuff in at the Stitch New England retreat, but I don't even think I pulled this out. So this one I'm stitching on 16 count Over the Moon from Color and Cotton. So there is Live on Large. Still kicking. This year it needs to get some dedicated time. As you'll see in a minute, actually you'll see next, for Christmas, my husband ordered me some scroll rods, and I'm hoping that will make that piece a little easier because it won't get all, it's a lot of fabric to get squished up in a Q-snap. And if my Q-snap is too big, then it's heavy to hold. But if it's too small, then I've got like this wad of fabric. So we'll see. So those were all 3 of my 2022 carryovers. So then last year, now we're in 2023, for my birthday in February, I started Snow Queen from Mirabilia. I love this piece. I had it all kitted up. I figured, why not? So I started this one on 28 count Rhiannon from Hand Dyed by Stephanie. And this one is on one of the scroll rods. So this thing now is massive. This is a 30-inch scroll rod. So I have a little bit more done up around. That's kind of where I'm at, is working the dress. So now that this one's on the rod, I have it floppy because I'm not working on it right now. I need to just get used to working on the rods. They're very different for me, so I need to get used to working on the rods. I'm doing that with another piece before I move on to that one, actually the next one, because I'm stitching two-handed and my stitches are gonna look a little different. So I thought, let me tackle this next one, get used to it, figure out where I need to sit, all that jazz, and then that one's coming back out. That one, when I work on it, is very addicting. I want to keep going. So I'd love to have it just out where I could work on it a little every day or a little every couple of days. So the next one is the Satsuma Street 4 Elements Stitch Along. This is also huge. This was a stitch along this year, last year. It is now available just as a PDF and a printed chart. So I am done with the water section. I'm writing those floweries on the green section. I was hoping to get that green section done before the year ended. Didn't happen. Those are the 2 fullest sections, and then air and fire have some more blank space, which is nice. So that one is also in a pillowcase, aimed the wrong way. I gotta make some things for these. So this one I'm doing on Fiber on a Whim Night Sky, I believe. So like I said, that bottom section is all done, and then I'm working on those flowers in the green I worked on this a little bit after Christmas so that I could test out the scroll rod. So we'll see how that goes, figuring out exactly where it's going to be. So that one is Satsuma Street. All of my ones on my phone are right in a row. Because next is Tree of Magic by Barbara Anna. This one was an exclusive kit from Nitka Moscow. I've had this for a long, long time. I don't know the current availability of this chart. So this is Barbara Anna's Tree of Magic. So I restarted this year. This was a start, I don't even know, 2020, 2021. I had just a barely little bit done, and then I decided I wanted to change the fabric. So I restarted this one this year. I'm using wheat, Zweigart wheat, and that's as far as I've gotten. So I started it in the middle on that kind of post, and then I got 2 of the tiers done. There's one more giant tier in the back, in the bottom, and then 2 more little ones on the top. So I thought that's a good spot to end for the fall. I at least have 2 of them done. I'm using all of the kit flosses. They're all DMCs, so I'm using all the kit flosses. And I'll pick that one back up. That's a 28 count Lugana. And I just wanted something, it's not the kit fabric, because the kit fabric, there goes John. The kit fabric was some kind of linen that I couldn't see the holes. So I swapped it out. This one I was hoping I would get done before the year ended too. Didn't happen. This is the latest of the Nora Corbett Christmas Courier reindeer that I'm working on. And it is Comet. These, I'm stitching all of them on 16 count Picture This Plus Haven. That's as far as I got. We were watching a lot of movies and TV shows and such, and the boys like to do that with the big light off. And I just needed something a little easier to see, so it didn't quite get the attention. So this is all the DMC. There's a big bead pack. So I gotta fill in the leg, still have to do some antler work, and then the border and like a whole bunch of these little confetti stitches that are then surrounded by beads. So this is the 5th reindeer that I've done. I don't want to wait till next Christmas or Christmas in July. I started that one in July. I'd like to get that one done so that I can move on to number 6. This is a little Halloween one that I didn't get very far, and it's kind of a beast to work on. So this was a kit that I got on a freebie table. It's hands-on design, Harvest Hexies, but I didn't want to do it as the Hexies. That seemed, I know Kathy's directions are great, but that seemed like a lot of work. Then I saw Nicole, Buckeye Stitcher, stitch these as a row, and she's going to have hers turned into a drum. And I thought, well, that's genius. So I made a bunch of photocopies and I taped them together, but I only got the middle section. So that's the middle section. Now the reason this is a beast to work on is my chart is like all taped together and MacGyvered together, so it kind of makes it tricky, but hopefully I can get back to that and get that finished up. And it came with the flosses, so I'm using the kit flosses. I chose my own little scrap of fabric to do that one on. Halloween time this year, I started another stitch along that then I failed miserably. I started the Bewitching Pixies SAL. What did we call it? Ooh, we called it something really funny. The Witch Along. The hashtag Nora Corbett Witch Along. And I started Eva. Mine is stitched on Night Sky Brandy from Mystic Fabrics. This way. This way, I think. So I'm in kind of the back end of her dress. And I just didn't get very far. I was working on other things. This is a Lugana, 28 count Lugana. I stitch on Aida and Lugana. The difference to me is the way the fabrics dye. The Lugana, things blend. Sometimes the Aida is much more stark. So like for a Nora or a piece like this, I really like the look of the Lugana. Stitching ease-wise though, I'd have gotten farther if it was an Aida. So that one is my second Halloween WIP. I have two turkey WIPs. I like stitching turkeys. I like stitching Thanksgiving things to put out once Halloween is over. Some of my fall stuff I leave up, but I really like having Thanksgiving stuff. The colors tend to be a little darker. Like they're still fall colors, they're just a little darker. So this one is Turkey Day from Cottage Garden Samplings. He's a big turkey. He fits in an 8x10, or hopefully will. But there's a lot of stitching in there. So I started on the bottom with the leaves. This one I'm also stitching on Wheat from Zweigart. The whites, the colors just really looked good. So there's the leaves. I have one more over here to do, and then this is another like outline one. And then I did get some of the turkey, got his little turkey feet and some of his back feathers done. So that's Turkey Day. Their charts are just printed like inside, so I have just, sometimes if I make a color copy of them at the library, they're still hard to read, so I have to stitch right from the chart, but I don't want to destroy it, so I try and give it a little bit of protection. Then I started another turkey piece, just because. This was one I've had for a long time. I had no intention of starting it this year, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna start that. So I did. This piece is another big one, and it's called Frolic in the Foliage, and it's by Blue Ribbon Designs. So there's the full chart. She has an Etsy shop. So it's 9 blocks and some words. I did darken the colors. When I was pulling colors, I didn't have all of them. So then when I pulled some, they didn't match the others. So I did end up darkening. So I started in the center. I got the scarecrow done. I think that was the most fiddly block. There's a lot of color changes. Then I moved over here and this block stitched up, no problems. So, and then I started outlining on the bottom, but then Thanksgiving was over, so I put it away. I'd like to get, I might try and get one of these these 2 blocks are the same. They're just flipped. The rest of them are all unique. So these 2 might be a little repetitive, but I'm kind of working down that way. So maybe I can get a couple of these done this year and maybe some words if I have extra time. That one's in a Velcro bag. So that one, Thanksgiving. This year I decided to join quite a few people and do a snow day stitch. The first person I saw do this was Julie at Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World, and she actually stitched Snow Queen as her snow day stitch. I picked Hands-On Design Snow Block Party, because here's all 4 sides. They're extremely similar. I think his little arms and maybe some of the snowflakes are the only difference. So I thought that might get a little repetitive. If I do it as a snow day stitch, then I'm not working on it all the time. And so far, so good. I've only worked on this 3 or 4 times. That's where it's at. 14 count, picture this plus dwarf. I have a little more to do right here, but I'm very tight on the edge. I don't even think I have enough to sew on a piece of fabric. So when I'm doing this stuff on the edge, I'll just pop it off the Q-snap and do that little bit in hand. But I know, like, you stitch a line of back stitch and that's how you stitch them together. So I can be that close on the edge. That's fine. It's just a little annoying when you're then trying to stitch the edge. But I did that to myself. 2 left. Next up, you haven't even seen this one. This was a new start. Ooh, I don't think I have the cover page. I thought I was so good. Hold on. This is my Christmas Day start. I started Santa Claus is Coming to Town from Autumn Lane Stitchery on Mystic Fabrics. Mystic from Picture This Plus. That's the name of the fabric. It's a dark blue. Okay, here it is. And I am doing, there's 2 different versions. I'm doing this version. The difference is above where it says Santa Claus, there's another little Santa Claus. I'll show you the other one. And then above town, there's just some snowflakes. The other version, above town, there's like a white silhouette Santa Claus and some snowflakes up top. But I'm doing the one with the extra, the bonus Santa Claus. So this one I started Christmas Day. Again, we were kind of watching movies and things, and I would have liked to have gotten farther, but is what it is. It was hard to see. So I may fill in this before I kind of put it up. And that way next time I'm ready, I'd have to move the Q-snap anyway to go either up or, no, that would be the top. So I'd have to move it to either go down or over. Oh no, it says Santa Claus up here. See, if I had the picture, it would be easier. Regardless, I'd need to move the Q-snap. So if I fill that in, then when I want to move the Q-snap, I'm good. That one I'm using all the called for, it's all DMC. 14 count Mystic by Picture This Plus. And then the only other WIP I had, I kind of went on a Mill Hill ornament kick at the end of the year. I haven't even shown you guys these because it was since my last regular video. Just wait, I have some Mill Hill ornaments to show in my next regular video. But I needed something to take to a stitch Christmas party that we were having with my local group. So I started this one, which is called Christmas Eve. And I didn't have it quite done New Year's Eve. We stayed up, we happened to get home after being at friends' houses. I was beading, then I had to go to bed. So I finished it on the 1st. So that one is complete. I have to cut it out. So that's a finish. My first finish of 2024. Very impressive. And this is what I mean by, yes, I had 63 finishes, but some of them are this size. So that is everything. I did put out a couple of weeks ago, last week, I have a plans video, which is not like super regimented plans, but I had a bunch of pieces already kitted up. So I thought this year I'm gonna try and work through some of those. In addition to non-planned starts. There will be plenty of those. So I started one of those kitted pieces for my New Year New Start. And I'm trying to decide if I want to do, like for the month of January, a new start every week, or if I want to alternate and do a new start and then do a WIP, right? Like that Halloween piece, the Fly By Night. I bet I could finish that in a week. Lobster Biscornu, I bet I could finish the top of that in a week. Live on Little, no, not happening. I need a lot more weeks for that one. So that is it. I hope you're enjoying everyone else's WIP parades. I've been trying to watch as many as I can. School started again today, so now I can kind of try and catch up. I'll never catch up. I'm behind. I'm woefully behind. So enjoy and happy stitching in 2024, and we'll see how many of these WIPs I can knock out before the end of 2024. It'd be great to only have those giant pieces left. So fingers crossed. All right, thank you very much. Bye.